32 pilots, $8 million worth of gliders, one battle against the elements. Join me on my epic adventure at the World Gliding Championships in Texas, where I experienced thrilling and emotional moments on my journey to the world title.
Day 4 today. We are, would say, a little bit exhausted from yesterday, but I slept well and long tonight, so that's great. Today it should be the hottest day here in Uvalde this year. It's about 41, 42 degrees Celsius, so really warm outside. We don't have cirrus clouds today, but we will have blue thermals, especially at the beginning to the southern side. And then hopefully to the north sector we have cumulus clouds. Really high cloud base up to 3,500 meters or even higher up to 4,000 meters. So a long final glide hopefully. It is a interesting task today. I don't like to fly in the blue thermals to the south because we could just use the good weather in the north. But the task set and decided, so we just need to stick to it and accept it. And then of course the task is now to drink a lot of water, perhaps some other isotonic drinks. My brother is still preparing here glider, so I don't need to stand in the heat all the time. And the first ones, they should launch now. You can see here the tugs already taxiing. I found a wave! Not sure if this helps, the others are still climbing there.
The wave at the start of the flight lifted us to an impressive 3,000 meters, providing a relaxed waiting period. However, we couldn't maintain the altitude until departure, so we had to circle in thermals briefly before starting the task. The early conditions were mostly blue, but we managed to make steady progress. The key point came around the second turn area. The large third sector offered significant flexibility in the route planning to the north. In the far northeast, we could already spot a cumulonimbus cloud, and on the way there, scattered cumulus clouds provided promising visual targets. From a glider pilot's perspective, heading towards the CB looked like the attractive option. Fortunately, we had our team captain and coach on the ground, monitoring the weather and live flight paths. They advised us against heading directly for the CB, warning that it might produce showers by the time we arrive or even drain thermals over a wide area. Instead, they recommended aiming for the middle to slightly eastern part of the sector, a safer choice with less risk. In hindsight, that advice turned out to be critical. It was a pivotal decision that shaped the success of our flight.
We're here on the final glide on day 4 of the World Gliding Championships. Great clouds, great streets. And I need 700 meters, I can make ready 3.5. I have nearly final glide, should be enough to just use here the energy. Simon is here, 6 kilometers ahead of me.
I'd really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel. At this point, I still had over 100 kilometers to the finish circle. My navigation computer showed that I needed 800 meters of additional altitude to make it, based on McCready's setting of 3.5. What am I focusing right now? It's all about getting to the finish as quickly as possible, but without taking unnecessary risks. At the moment, we are almost too close to the cloud base, which makes it harder to get a clear view of the cloud structure. Typically, my experience from the day gives me a gut feeling about whether the cloud will work better to the left or right. But with spreading clouds, it's still a challenge. I'm asking myself key questions. Where's the cloud darker? Are there concave areas, wisps of cloud, or even birds that might provide clues? Observation is absolutely critical. After that, it's a mix of trial and error combined with the rapid feedback of my Laris barometer. I accelerate the ACE-33 exclusively with the flaps, and when slowing down I use the elevator first, followed by cautious positive flap adjustments. Sometimes reducing flap deflection is even better, though I admit I'm not perfect at this. One critical point: avoid excessive G-forces. During post-flight analysis of the precise Laris sensor data, we've consistently seen how much drag increases with the higher G-loads. It's a detail that shouldn't be underestimated and can make all the difference in an efficient glide.
Hi Stefan! Good morning! Hello! Quite a long day again. We need to start early to come back in time, and hopefully there are no overdevelopments, thunderstorms and so on. Simon is not completely happy with the performance here. I think it's just the wing loading. Yeah, it's good to have a high wing loading. We have extremely good weather conditions. We are cruising with 200, 210, 220 kilometers an hour. Of course, the wing loading and so on, it's a thing. From now on, we decided that we are more free to fly. Of course, we want to fly together in some points, but we can also make our own way, our own decisions, and fly our own lines. Simon is sitting here in his car. My brother is over there preparing the glider. And then here is Holger coming the moment. That's our, say, coach. And yeah, let's have the last discussions, last tactics. Mega gaggle here. Okay, gedrückt.
The flight started similarly to the previous days, with little cumulus cloud cover leading to larger gaggles before departure. The 4-hour assigned area task didn't allow much flexibility for a later start. The first leg went well, although we might have flown too far south. However, we wanted to leave enough room for adjustments if the weather improved significantly. Heading north, I decided to split from Simon and to take a more easterly route, aiming for the higher terrain where Skyside had predicted good conditions. Unfortunately, there was no clear line for the transition, and it involved a significant deviation from the course. Others, including Simon, chose a more westerly route. At lower altitudes, I wasted a lot of time trying to find a good thermal. This route choice turned out to be my first major mistake.
Ja, ich habe jetzt auch endlich mal einen guten mit über 4. Wie hoch kommst du?
Later, I accidentally switched off the Stieflein nav by resting my finger on the switch while bracing in turbulent air. Things just didn't go my way. This also disrupted my time optimization in Exisor. I tried to fix it manually, adjusting the remaining time, but it didn't work as planned. In the north, I flew far too deep into the sector, leaving about 270 kilometers to return to the airfield with a 30 km/h headwind and weakening thermals. I was overly optimistic in my planning. My third major mistake was leaving this strong thermal with a 1000 meter higher cloud base just because light rain had started. All subsequent thermals were significantly weaker and cost a lot of time.
Raining too much, not good for the profile.
In the end, I made it back to Wolli, but 14 minutes later than planned. With a daily result of 14th out of 32 participants, I wasn't happy after my previous day's success. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but you just have to accept it. The coming days will offer plenty of new challenges to tackle.